go over the quiz and understand. This quiz is about average rate of change or greatest rate of change over a particular interval. And what makes the question challenging is that you have to know how to find the rate of change three ways in order to get this question right. And based on what I saw, some people on their quiz completely forgot how to do rate of change. Some people on their quiz did know how to do rate of change for one or two out of the three. Some people rarely did they know all three. But what's also important to understand is how you show your work. A lot of people, I don't know if it was because you didn't know how to do it or because you forgot to do it, but a lot of people never wrote the rate of changes for the three problems. Now, what is rate of change? Pretty much the same thing as. Everybody? Slope. So let's start with C because it's the easiest one. What's the slope on C? What is it, everybody? 4 over 1. Oh. You know, this often happens the first time I use the pen after trying to boot this up. Okay. Show me the green light. There we go. All right, good. So, the rate of change here is 4 over 1. And the reason we know that is the general equation of a line is y equals mx plus b, where m is known as slope. And you guys just said to me a second ago that slope is the same thing as rate of change. Okay, so that's one slope. That's being able to recognize it from a written equation of a line, a function rule. Now, we have to be able to recognize it by counting it or using the slope formula. I think it's probably a little easier to count it for this guy. And some of you guys did the reciprocal, so make sure you're paying attention. Watch. To go from this point to this point, I have to go up 1, 2, 3 over 5, 6, 7. So I'm going up 3 and I'm going over 7. Now slope, rate of change, is the change in output or y over the change in input or x. Now the y is the vertical number, so it's going to be up 3 over 7. So 3/7 works out to be the correct slope on this particular problem. Now we go to the last one. If I take a look here, yeah.
On our papers, we wrote that, but you wrote 7 over 3 and crossed out our numbers and give us 80.
Okay, show me afterwards and I'll get that done. Now, as I look here, what am I going up by here?
3.
3. What am I going up by here?
1.
1. This is the rate of change, so it's going to be 3 over 1. Now, which of these numbers is the biggest number? 3 over 7, 3 over 1, or 4 over 1? 4 over 1. So the answer is C. Now, the reason would be that the rate of change or slope, I would write something to the effect over here of the rate of change or the slope of 4 is greater than the rate of changes for the other two. Okay? Are we good? All right. So, that's rate of change. That's how we get it started. Let's make sure we understand it. And tomorrow when we take the quiz, let's do a better job. Now, I do believe that most of you guys just needed a little bit of a reminder about that stuff, and then you would be good. We already went over and gave you the quiz answer, the do it answers. Are there any questions about the do it? Okay, so the last thing we talked about was, we gave you the answers to the first two for the double distribute here, and then we asked you to do the third one while my laptop was rebooting. So, let's take a look here and see how we did. 2x plus 3, 4x minus 5. And let's fill in all the boxes. Let's see what we get. Ready? 2x times 4x is what? 8x squared. Good. 2x times negative 5 is what? What's 2x times negative 5, guys? Negative 10x. 3 times 4x is what? 12x. And 3 times negative 5. Do you guys happen to remember what I said was the biggest mistake kids do, or what causes the biggest mistakes here? Yes, Elizabeth? Yeah, when you don't put the sign, I actually forgot to put it there. It's positive 12x. That's the biggest mistake that kids make. If you put the signs, kids tend to get it right almost all the time. Now, that's the Fuji peanut in green. We have to make sure that we add on the Fuji peanut. So the 8x squared has no terms that can combine with it, no like terms. Now I have negative 10x and positive 12x. That adds up to plus 2x. And then we have minus 15. So my final answer for this one is 8x squared plus 2x minus 15. Any questions on that? When you take your test this Friday, and you'll see it on your pre-tests on Wednesday and Thursday, there are multiple questions like this. I think there's 3 or 4 on the test. So obviously you gotta be prepared for them. All right, if you need help, you can do it with the person sitting next to you. Try numbers 4 and 5, and Elizabeth, bring up any of those papers that have that on, and I'll take care of that now. Okay, try numbers 4 and 5, I'll go over it in just a minute. Girls, let's go.
Stay right here. Okay, so Shane goes to. Bless you. And who's the other one here? Okay. Jeff, Jason, is there a problem? If you're working together, it's good. You can keep doing it. The problem is it didn't appear that way. Another 30 seconds or so. Okay, by a show of hands, how many people feel like when they get a question like this, they know what to do? Jimmy, hood down. Hold it. Either we're not anywhere near where we ought to be, or you're not paying attention. Everybody look at me. How many people, when you get a question like this, feel like you know what you should do to get it right? You may not always get it right, but you know what to do. How many people feel that way? Okay, there's still a couple of hands down. That's not a good thing. This is the 4th day we've done this. We're going to do 2 more now, and then tomorrow we're going to do 1 more day of it. And then there will be some on the pre-test, but you really got to get to the point now where you're growing comfortable with this, okay? What we're doing is we're multiplying these 2 binomials. So we set up a thing we call the box method. What do we call this? That's start. What do we call this? Very good, okay. So I simply take the 7x and the 3x and I multiply. So what is 7x times 3x? 21 what? X squared, good, because x times x is x squared.
Now, I can do whatever order I want. Just for the heck of it, I'm gonna go down and do the lower right-hand corner box. What's -8 times -4? Positive 32. Now, even if you did it in a different order, you're still gonna get a positive 32 there. That's why it doesn't matter. -8 times 3x is -24x, and 7x times -4 is -28x. Now, at this point, it's very, very, very important to remember the Fucci peanut. This is what Fucci used to do all the time. Now, the only box in here that has an x squared is the first box. So that is 21x squared. There is no other like term to combine it to. Now, inside the Fucci peanut, what you're really doing is saying, look, these two things are alike, so they go in the same bucket. Since they're alike and they go in the same bucket, I just have to add them up and see how much there are. It's as if you literally did this. Drew a bucket and put a -28x, don't forget there's a negative there, and a -24x, and you tell me what's in the whole bucket. There's -52x. And last but not least, positive 32 has nothing to combine with it. So your correct answer is 21x squared minus 52x plus 32. Now, can you show me how many people got that right? We got 1, 4, 7, about 10 or maybe 12 people. Guys, in the class today, there's about 27 people. 12 is less than half, all right? What is it, who did not get it right? Raise your hand. Jalen, tell me something I did that you did not do on the problem that you needed to understand.
I misplaced the negative, well, I put the numbers in the wrong place on the boxes. And
All right, and the way we
multiplied
straighten that out, maybe I didn't do a good enough job of explaining it. Look, this lines up with this, so that's why these two go in that box. Over here, these two line up, so that's why it goes in that box. Angelina, you're looking at it like it's Greek. What we're saying here is that when you determine what goes in which box, you line up the vertical with the horizontal. In this case, it's a 7x and a -4, so I multiply. You always multiply to fill out the boxes. And I get -28x. Yes?
So it's like looking at a multiplication chart, like 1 times 1, 2 times 2, right?
Yeah,
Like that.
that's right. Well said. It's like a multiplication chart. Okay? All right. So now, what two numbers would go here? Jalen, what two numbers would I put here? What am I going to multiply to fill in this box? For those who view at home, it's this box. What two would I multiply there?
5x and -8.
Yep, that's right, 5x and -8. Okay, so let's go over to the next one now, which you were supposed to do too. I want you, before I go over this, I want to take 20 seconds, look at your paper, and see now if there's anything in your box that you think might be wrong. Michael, head the game, kid. Come on. You didn't even have yours done. Alan, where's your paper, bud? All right, well, let's have that left hand out too, right? All right, so you're looking at your paper. Did anybody find anything that maybe they were doing wrong on their paper? Anybody find anything? Okay, so let's see now if you did a better job on this one. This upper left-hand box is gonna be what times what? Ulysses, what am I gonna multiply to get this upper left-hand box? What am I gonna multiply here? What times what? The 5x times what? Good, 5x times x, excellent, and I get 5x squared. Take a look at your paper. Did everybody get 5x squared there? Question?
No, I found the word, I forgot the X in like answering the question.
Okay, yeah, that's like a common thing that kids do. It drives me nuts. All right, so now let's take a look at this box here. What should go here? Jason, what are we gonna get right here? So what's the product? -2 times x. Good, -2x is correct. Now let's do this box in the upper right-hand part. Angelina, what times what goes here?
You have to do 5x times -8.
Good, and what is that? No, we're multiplying, not adding. If it was adding, that would be correct, but what was it?
What? Oh, 40x.
Careful, -40x. Remember, the number one problem in these is the signs, okay? And last but not least, what am I gonna multiply to get the bottom box here? Lisbeth, what do I get to multiply, or what do I use to multiply to get the bottom box? All you gotta do is this, Lisbeth, look at me. You just go vertical and horizontal. What number's at the top of the column? -8, right? And what number's on the left? Good. And what's -8 times -2? +16, right? All right, so now we start thinking future peanut. These two are always going to be combinable. And now I come over here. 5x squared, -40x, and -2x. Sam, what do we get with that?
Negative 42x.
Good. And then +16 all by itself over there. And there's the correct answer. Okay? Any questions about that? Okay, here's the deal. We've now got, we're just about done. All right. Guys, work hard on this tonight. Make sure we clean up the last of our issues with that. Study over that quiz. We want the higher grades for tomorrow.